everyone, welcome to Slash 2, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Kyle. And this is our sort of mangled together podcast. We're a couple of poor call centre workers that want to do something more interesting. So we wanted to do something that covered games and our interests and hobbies, and hopefully you guys would find an interest in it too.
Fair warning, there's probably going to be a lot of swearing because I'm basically a pirate. But yeah, basically it's just going to be, I've said basically a lot so far.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's going to be our catchphrase. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a chat every week. Well, every other week we're going to be uploading, aren't we?
Yeah.
And looking at streaming in the off weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that. We've already gone through 3 mics today. I want to apologise for the audio quality. We will buy a new one.
It's on the wish list.
We're just waiting for that sweet, sweet payday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kat, you used to work in, well, gaming retail. I wouldn't really say games industry, but...
No, I had a lot of contact with it, but I used to work for a little-known company called Game Station.
Game?
Yeah. I used to come into contact with a lot of reps, find out a lot of stuff which went on, which the general public didn't really have access to. Yeah, so you got to sort of see like how corporations screw over the end.
That's a good way to start our career in the gaming industry. Talk about how people are terrible.
No, it was really fun, really interesting, and you get to meet some amazing people. And I'm talking about the average Joe out there who feels passionate about a video game, and we were able to sort of harness that and enjoy the same interests and actually create a bit of banter with them, and you learn some cool stuff and you make some cool friends. Like the amount of customers that I used to serve who I now play online games with on Xbox Live, Steam, etc. It's ridiculous.
I feel like that's probably the first time someone said Xbox Live in the past 5 years.
Some of us still play Halo.
Not me, Halo. But yeah, we'll talk about that more in a future episode.
About your
anyway.
gaming background?
My gaming background is my dad has always loved games. My house used to be called Nessa because he would have one monitor with about 4 different computers hooked up, running servers and playing. Well, the biggest one was an old game called Jumpgate. I don't know if any of you guys may have come across that. Space flying simulator. Basically, Elite before Elite was even. Well, no, because they had the original Elite, didn't they? It's just Elite Dangerous. It's like a Jumpgate ripoff. So.
Controversial.
Well, at least that's what my dad says. He's the one that plays these games. I'm not into space flights and things like that. He tried to get me into it as a kid, but it didn't work. It was always more Minesweeper, and I'm a storyteller. That's my big thing. I like involving myself in a story in a world, which sort of leads on to what we're talking about today, as you probably guessed from the title, which is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and dating the game master.
So I'm a DM, a dungeon master or GM game master. I've been playing D&D probably only about 2 years now, and I started DMing about 6 months into 8 months into that. Sort of thrown in at the deep end, as it were. But then when we started dating, well, before we started dating, I was trying to get you to join in and play. And once we started, I finally managed to rope you in.
Yeah.
And it was quite kind of daunting for you, weren't it?
God, yeah. So going from, sort of give it some context, I've played World of Warcraft since like 2005, 2006, like the early days. And I thought, it'd just be like WoW, but with pen and paper, and we throw dice at each other, and there's snacks, but... No, it's fucking horrifying having to roleplay. Like... Yeah,
you're still really not comfortable with it, are you? I'm trying to get you more into it.
I'm like a plank with a sword and shield. Just like, hello.
Yeah, you're playing a tiefling paladin, aren't you?
Yeah, because why not? Horns, hooves and a shield.
I suppose it doesn't help because you've literally been thrown in at the deep end because it is a homebrew world. Basically, for you who don't know, homebrew means it's completely... made from scratch by me. I'm not using pre-written stories and things like that. I'm not using the base world for Dungeons and Dragons. I'm making it all up from scratch. I'm using a lot of stuff like obviously the races and stuff like that. I'm reusing a lot of their gods because that's a lot of hard work. But we had to completely build you a monastery and an order to be part of, didn't we, from scratch.
And the obligatory sad woe is me, I have been thrust into this world backstory.
Yeah. And the worst part is I gave him this massive 3-page document all about his order, and the first chunk of it is all shortened down, what the order is, who the main players are, what the different levels are, where his place is, just so he can jump in. He's got the basic information. Kyle, what's the name of your order?
Red Dawn.
No.
Damn it.
It's the Order of the Red Sun. You don't even remember your god's name half the time. We've been playing for like 8 months now.
She's an angry tactical lady that saw me in a dream once, that was it. But like, being thrown into that D&D world was very daunting, especially considering the other guys, one of them being your mother.
Yeah, my mum plays with us in the crew.
Yeah, was like all experienced to some sense. I mean, God, Mouse is like full on like micros the dice, and he's got the cards, and he's got pens, and he's going nuts, and I'm just there with my laptop like, okay, what's going on?
I DM for 2 groups. I've got one which is international online, and one of them which is all people from work, including Kyle here. The online group, I have everything through Roll20. I've got all my stuff prepared, it's all nice and neat, and I just use that. It's all in the same world but at different points, so they're running through the same story, but because you've got different characters they play through. But in the campaign that you play, we've got Joe, who plays Mouse, who's a rogue. We've got Nat, who plays Charity Winkleberry, which is one of the most D&D names I have ever heard. But she goes by Valkyria, again, another very D&D name.
And she's a tiefling.
Yeah, she's another tiefling. She's a warlock. We've got my mum, Irene, who plays... she did play Esne Flatgust. The names these people come up with. Like, I thought I was bad. But now she's playing Evangeline Moonkiller.
I would pour some tea out for Esne, but it's the last cup of tea in the flat.
You're out of milk.
And of course we've got the fabulous Dragonborn.
Oh yes, we have Ant, who plays our massive gay icon, Deckard.
He's lovely.
He's a wizard, he's fantastic, he's one of my favourite characters. And like I said, I've been the stuff that's coming up with his character, man. He's been like messaging me non-stop for weeks, it's great.
And then of course you've got your boy with his paladin Zarthos, who has no fucking clue what he's doing, but has somehow survived how many encounters?
Yeah, you've come close to dying a couple of times. A couple of times.
Inside and in the game. But the scenario, let's paint the picture. Like, my first D&D session, I've got my pen and paper. Like, did you bought me some dice, didn't you, at that point? Or was I borrowing some?
I mean, I think you borrowed some for like the first session, and then I bought you a set.
Yeah. Which I love very much.
And then I accidentally bought you 2 sets of Paladin cards because I forgot I'd already bought some.
It's fine. You know what I'm like. But anyway, so the game starts, and I'm sat there like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Like, because I didn't have sort of a backstory, because the recap was as brief as hell.
Yeah. I try and get the group to do the recap, and they're always like, I don't care, let's move on.
Yeah, so this is why sort of I always open as a bit of a gag when people ask how I met them. I just say, so a demon walks into a bar. Because that's
it's true.
Yeah, because that's how I met them. They had a brawl with some fucking demon in a bar, and they were all tied up in some sort of like...
Technically it wasn't a bar. Technically it was a strip club / mafia den, but...
I didn't know that. As far as I'm concerned, as an upstanding member of the Order, it's a watering hole.
Upstanding member of the Order who just abandoned his master and just walked off on his own. He
had debt. He was a gambler. He wandered out of my supervision. And the Order was okay with that because nobody liked him. But that's besides the point. These guys are all in a room, tied to chairs, being interrogated for the destruction of this watering hole, this perfectly upstanding establishment. And I sort of have to stand there and pretend to be a man of authority, having never done it before, being like, yeah, I will take these guys with me, the Order will investigate the demon, and everything will be fine. And instead we ended up going
to literally the complete opposite end of the continent.
But what an adventure it's been so far. So we slayed an innocent birthing ritual for some, like, water-based...
Yeah, so I invented my own race. I want, at some point, maybe for us to do a... stop giggling at me. To do a underwater adventure section, maybe in one of the 2 games. And I invented this underwater sort of demon hybrid-esque looking creatures. And you guys had basically stumbled across a series of caves which led out into this underground temple. And as soon as you saw one of these things, which are human, they're humanoid, and they're clearly clothed and like look people-ish, but with pink and scales and weird tendrils. Your first response, well, no, not your first response. Ant's first response was to go, Deckard throws a fireball.
No, prior to that, it was Zarthos takes a good few steps forward and takes a defensive stance, and then a fireball fucking flies over me, and then the worst part's yet to come. So we kill the guy, and then
Another one comes out, and we peek through the door, and we hear lots of voices and additional enemies, or we thought. And then several more fireballs fly through the door. We hear lots of blood-curdling screams, and we realise what we've done. We've essentially killed off the race, almost, that you invented. Yeah, like all of the... I made it so that a couple of people luckily made their death saves. Thank God for that. And managed to escape. But like, you walked in and there was just like burnt corpses floating in a birthing pool. And it's like, wow, that went well.
Yeah. And then there was the...
And I just loved halfway through because I just went, oh my god, I've just killed a priest. As he slowly came to the realisation that maybe you shouldn't just throw fireballs at random people in churches.
We didn't know it was a church, to be fair. We entered by road.
There is an altar with a statue in front of you.
Yeah, and we immediately thought, oh boy, some virgin's going to get sacrificed on this.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then later on in the story, we got on a boat and had to fight some killer worms, and I had one of these things burying itself inside me.
I apologise for the jingles, the cat has come to play.
Oh yeah, we have 2 cats, which makes any sort of D&D session really interesting, because they just go around the whole group.
Yeah, just begging for attention.
We had the killer worms, and then
Oh god, the killer worms.
Yeah, that we solved with tea, which is a very British thing to do. Oh, you've got a killer worm burying its way into your chest cavity. That's fine, have a brew.
Yeah, they were parasites, basically. So you tried, like, cure disease and stuff and cure poison, and it would sort of help temporarily, because they were pumping out toxins into the body, but that wasn't the cause of the issue. Sorry, I'm just trying to manhandle a cat out of the way.
They will appear at some point on a stream.
Oh god, definitely. Like, neither of them can leave well alone. The fact that we're talking means that Harley has to be involved.
Yeah. And then, of course, the death of your mum's character, which I feel like that wasn't the first time that happened.
No, so that's the second character death we've had in your campaign. The online campaign, no one's ever died. And like, I don't actively go out to try and kill people. If the dice fall that way, then they fall that way. I was really excited when the 2 wizard characters walked over towards the siren, who her whole thing is like wisdom saves and intelligence saves. Both of them had got great on those, so I was like, good, this party should never have split. But of all the people to go and face her, I'm glad it was these 2. And then immediately, every save, Mum's character just failed badly, just over and over and over again. She ended up drowning.
Cursed dice.
Well, we actually had that, because the first character death we had, Nat had got it was like our 3rd, 4th session. She'd got a new set of dice, and she was very excited for it, but every time she rolled her d20, she either got like a 1 or like an 11, one of the numbers that are next to a 1. And I'm like, please stop using this dice. It makes me very uncomfortable. I have a massive bag, I have a chest of dice. I have loads and loads of dice. Please stop using this. It's making me very uncomfortable. And then she walked into like someone else's spell, and then she just like a druid walked straight up to a rogue character and just started smacking her with the staff. And it's like, no, this isn't how it works, Nat. And she ended up dying. And we tested the dice later, and it was weighted. It was fully weighted. It was like so botched. It was a really bad moulded one. But that was our first character death, and like I say, it was about session 4. I felt awful.
I don't want to ever die.
Nat cried.
Like, I have written up another character, but I hope I never have to use it.
It's always good to have a backup.
Yeah.
Most of the players have got a backup at this point.
But more back to the sort of title of the topic. Now you've sort of heard the higgledy-piggledy campaign that I'm...
It's hard to describe D&D campaigns to anyone coherently, because they just end up so crazy.
Yeah, it's like a plot line for some like daytime TV show that maybe like 4 people watch, but it's better than having nothing.
Yeah, someone in a coma or in a permanent vegetative state with their brain completely destroyed, and then suddenly wakes up, and then they have an evil twin as well, and it's like... That's D&D in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Someone just made a really good save.
But it's interesting dating a GM because there's many times where you have to look away from their screen if they're doing some D&D work, or, for example, your online campaign, I like to put my noise cancelling headphones on and pretend I'm not listening in case anything crosses over with the campaign that I'm in.
Yeah, which is a big worry for me because we started about 6 months apart, and I thought that would be fine. That would be plenty of a gap.
But we caught up.
But you caught up like so quickly, and I had you both in like the capital city. It's the main city where everything's going to be based coming in and out from. It's a really important place, and you were having the same events like 2 days apart because we play on a Friday and they're on Sundays, and I was getting serious burnout at that point, like really, really bad burnout, and I was really struggling to separate out the two games. But
our profession doesn't help with that either.
Oh god, no.
Like, imagine working like a 9.5, 10-hour shift and then coming home and doing 3 hours of DMing.
Well, it used to be worse because it used to be 12-hour shifts that we did.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I'd come back from a 12-hour shift and jump online and then DM for another 3 to 4 hours. And like, I love it. It's so much fun. I love playing. I love DMing. But it is work. It's hard work. Trying to keep everything together and everything in your head, making sure everything's coherent, making sure you're not... I've had a couple of slip-ups where I've revealed plot points that I shouldn't have done.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they'd met a trio of sisters and I was talking and then I go, the hags, and I'm like, fuck, why did I just say that?
Damn it!
And just completely ruin the whole story arc. So it's really hard when you come in from a long shift at work to DM in a game where they're so close together you're not sure who you've told what yet.
Which is why I like to be like, la la la, and put my hands over my ears and pretend that I don't hear anything, which most of the time I don't.
No. You're too busy playing on Doom or something, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Doom series. Oh, hello, Luna.
Luna's the loud one. Harley will just come and sit with us like she's now, maybe jingle her bell a little bit. Luna screams.
Yeah. As you can see, we have a friend now. But the it's all good fun. Like I enjoy it. Like coming from an electronic sort of MMO sort of role playing background, coming into D&D wasn't as straightforward as I thought. But I'm glad I made the jump, and vice versa. I dragged you kicking and screaming into my virtual world that I play in, which is World of Warcraft, of course.
We're talking about that more next week. Next session anyway.
That'll be covered more next session, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I know you pull a lot of parallels between WoW and D&D.
Yeah.
That I'm still sort of learning because...
What helped me?
I just spam buttons in WoW.
Well, what helped me with D&D, with the transition from WoW to D&D, when I found that WoW 5e manual, I was able to sort of make links between certain spells and things.
Yeah, because you sent me that, didn't you? And it's got all of these spells in D&D, except converted to, because it's a WoW campaign, just converted the names over.
And certain stats and abilities. So, like when you're talking about certain things, I can pick up on them and be like, "Oh, right, so that's what this is," and then I can understand and I can actually like create that link. Yeah,
because there's a lot where I sit and play in WoW and I'm like, "This is from D&D. This is 100% from D&D."
Well, nearly every single sort of MMORPG.
Everything is based on D&D. Yeah. Every fantasy story is based on D&D.
Pretty much.
They change things, like tieflings are demonic. They like demonic heritage people.
Yeah.
So they've got horns, they have blue or red skin tones sometimes, they can have hooves, they can have tails. And I was trying to describe them to you and you couldn't wrap your head around until all of a sudden you went, "Oh, so Draenei then."
Yeah. And then everything made sense.
There are a weird... Like, D&D's got some really weird races that you've not had the pleasure of coming across a lot of them because you've not met some characters like Murian, who's a Tabaxian, which are cat people. Think Khajiit from Skyrim.
Oh yeah, Khajiit has many wares.
He's my magic shopkeeper. If any of you listen to The Adventure Zone, he is extremely based off of cat climbing. He is extremely, extremely based off of Garfield. With the whole "hello children" sort of voice, where it's really badly done because I cannot do voices. Like when we first started this campaign, I one of the first characters that people met, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do voices, I'm going to be really on top of it, I'm going to be pushing for it, I'm going to do a lot of roleplay stuff, I'm going to be really good at this. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this character with an Irish accent. Not thinking that I cannot do an Irish accent. I had to write a full script of everything he'd say, and I'd have to, like, before the session, sit and read through it to be able to get a vague... And sometimes it went a bit Russian and a bit Scottish, and I had no idea what I was doing.
My favourite part was when you lost your voice, and you were just like...
Oh, when I was really sick that time.
Yeah, it was like we had a death metal like singer DMing for us.
Yeah. I have a lot of throat problems.
You drank so much tea.
I drank so much tea. I was like going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. It was that much tea.
Yeah, but no. All in all, D&D, and it's rewarding. It's fun, and from a new player, people that are interested in remotely in any sort of fantasy universe, I'd totally recommend it. Like, because they've got sci-fi, it's not just all like milady and swords and shields and horses.
I've played a few times of Stars Without Number, which basically you have D&D classic, like your proper Dungeons and Dragons, and then you've got other tabletop RPG games all based off of the same idea. So you have loads of them. So there's like Monster of the Week, there's like Stars Without Number, there's loads. It's not just like the WoW one where it's a module with things renamed to be WoW. They've actually got their own systems and different... Because, like, D&D is heavily based on the D20. That's your most used dice.
Yep.
Stars Without Number and stuff, it's more a D6, and there's loads of different ways to play. So there's always something for yourself. And not only that, there's a DM out there for every type. The only problem is there are much, much fewer DMs than people that want to play.
Yeah.
Which, on one hand, is fine, because you have, like, one DM to, like, 4 to 6 people. But there's... even still a deficit of us.
You've got a waiting list.
I have a waiting list, yeah. I can't really bring people into the online campaign because that's full. Can't really bring people into the face-to-face campaign because that's full. But I have had a guy who for the past since just about when you joined, he has his own character made, he wants to play, he's been prepping, and he's just sat there like clutching. I just picture him sat there clutching his paperwork like, yes, one day my time will come.
Oh.
I feel so bad. But my manager wants to play, half of the team wants to play, half of the other teams that won't want to play.
I have a few friends who also want to play, so...
Oh god. I have enough people to make a third run of the campaign, but at the same time, I get burnt out already. Yep. I don't have the energy. I'm already writing stories for like 10 people. Yep. I can't do it for 15.
It would be a really cool idea if maybe one day we could try and record one of our sessions.
Oh god, our sessions are too higgledy-piggledy. They don't make any sense.
If we could probably get a few laughs, you never know. We could put it out there, see what people think.
Yeah, I suppose it won't do any harm.
And off the back of that, we also want feedback off this. I mean,
yeah,
this is the first time we've done this. We're literally using like a gaming headset that I've got, because all the microphones that we've got are trash. We've
literally gone through 3 different Razer headsets trying to find which one has the best audio quality when we record. I'm currently recording this in like a streaming software, and then I'm going to port it over to Audacity because Audacity didn't have as much controls on it as I wanted. But I can then port it over to Audacity because I've had to turn the volume down on absolutely everything, so that it doesn't pick up, because you can probably hear an echo because I've got like 12-foot high ceilings in our apartment, haven't we? So it's really echoey and there's a lot of background noise, and even with the cats, like I'm having to hold Luna so she doesn't yell, and like pet Harley at the same time so she doesn't start brushing against the mic. And even with that, there's a lot of background noise in here.
Yeah, but like come episode like 2 or 3 down the line, we'll have a decent microphone. I will set up a recording tent so we don't have the high ceiling feedback. Yeah. And then later on, we're also going to look at streaming, and just sort of a bit of a heads up, like later down the line, we're going to be like, we're going to the MCM, aren't we, in Birmingham?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of plans. We're going to be doing MCM Expo. I don't know if we're going to be dressing up yet. We've got plans to do some Overwatch cosplay, haven't we?
Yeah, but if all comes to, I'm just going to wear a /2 t-shirt with a big QR code on it and be like, hey, listen to us talk crap for half an hour, you know?
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
Half an hour to an hour. I don't know how long we're going to be doing these for.
It depends. Yeah. Like I say, we're new at this. We need to find out what our audience want to hear us talk about, and we need to find out like more in what content really.
To be honest, as of this recording, I have no idea where we're going to be uploading this to. Like, I've got a SoundCloud ready. That's like it.
We've got Facebook, we've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've got a Facebook channel, a YouTube channel, a Twitch, a Twitter, and I don't think I've set up an Instagram yet, so we should do that. Because we can post the cats on it.
Yes, we should, /2 cats. We should try
just
and...
/2 cats.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them, so...
Yeah, and the inspiration for the name as well, wanted to mention this earlier, but /2, I got that from...
Wow.
Yeah, from WoW. Some of you guys out there know that /2 isn't for trade anymore. It's more of a place where players will idle and talk shit, troll each other.
Thunder Fury.
Yeah, Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. I'm sure I heard someone say that somewhere earlier. And it just seemed to fit. So, yeah.
Because we're just going to be talking shit and not knowing what the fuck we're doing, so it's...
Like, in true /2 fashion, you could look at it one minute and someone's selling some boots for 22k, and the next minute you've got a guy talking about the best way to bury a horse, so...
Or people just saying anal item name.
That's the classic.
Repeated.
That's the classic.
20 minutes until people start threatening to kick them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we do have our online handles anyway. If you guys see us on WoW, then... I don't know, do you want to give them their character names, or...?
Depends which one. We've got many characters
going.
We have many. I'd say follow me, like Twitch, Maddox775. That's where I'm going to be streaming a lot of my gameplay in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
And
I mean, a lot of it's just going to go straight up on /2, but...
Yeah, but I'll just stream for the sake of it,
That's fine with me. I've also got, I mean, I don't even know what my Twitch username is, if I'm perfectly honest. I think it's CatCack8D.
Yeah, that's that is your Twitch handle.
Everything's either CatCack or CatCack8D if someone's already stolen that name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we're gonna have a bit of fun in the coming weeks. I think we'll leave this episode a short one, about half an hour, purely because it's our first one and it probably sounds like shit.
Yeah. So yeah, feedback is a must. We've got Reddit, have we? We got Reddit?
Not yet, but I can make one.
Yeah, so we'll probably link everything into that because that's like the easiest way for people to give us feedback, and we'll just roll it from there.
We've planned out as well for the next 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So this week we're doing obviously D&D a little bit. We'll probably go into more detail about stuff at some point. It was just sort of a way to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk about World of Warcraft next week. We've got working in the industry on your end, what it was like and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Our early years, what got us in, how to do world building, so that's going to be a bit more D&D on that one.
Yeah.
We'll do some coverage of the Birmingham MCM Expo. Probably talk about some controversial stuff like girls in gaming, what it's like to be a Go gamer, because you guys can be mean.
You can't talk about that though without the internet white knight.
Oh god.
And the internet black knight,
there's
which
nothing
is
wrong.
great.
There's not much wrong with white knights as long as it's like, because people say white knight when you're not a white knight.
But
just being a decent human being can be down as white knighting, but some of it is creepy as fuck, man.
It really is, but like on the flip side of the white knight is the black knight, which is like the one that's there to ruin the white knight's day.
Yeah, it's just
like number of internet fights won, number of harlots rescued from the. It is internet culture.
Yeah, and we the two of us have got very different opinions on a lot of stuff.
Which makes for some very funny conversations.
Very funny. I tend to be quite passionate. I don't mean to, but I come off quite bitchy a lot of the time. My voice is just very, I don't know, it's got that sort of tone to it, that aggressive note. I genuinely don't mean to sound like an asshole half the time, but if I'm passionate about something, I end up doing.
On the flip side, I am an asshole, so we balance each other out. So yeah, what, should we just leave it there?
Yeah, we'll call it here for now. At some point we'll be doing a proper live or Reddit AMA style.
If we get far enough, like this is episode 1, we want to test the water, we want all the feedback we can get. Obviously, feedback there for the audio equipment, we are sorting that. It's just that we are both broke as hell phone monkeys that don't have a proper income. So like, we have to make do with what we've got, but we are putting money aside to buy recording equipment based off the feedback, because if you guys just turn around and go, this is shit, be gone, then that's fine. We might do 2 more episodes just to sort of stick the boot in. But like, yeah, we want the community to drive us. We don't want to just be like these two disembodied voices that appear on your headset for half an hour and then you're just like, fuck those guys, and carry on playing video games. We want people to be like, wow, they talked about this, that's really cool. I want to feed back and say like, well, what about this? What about this? And then we could like, you know, take that up in further episodes down the line.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't be a dick about it, but we want to know what we can be doing to do better, and if we're wrong about something, then you know, if we're misinformed, that's a big issue.
Yeah, exactly. Like part of my inspiration, I look at like H3, you know, and see how amazing the chemistry is between those guys, and just the fact that they keep having Big Money Salvia on there, and like it's just good entertainment. It's a nice conversation that they're having, and you know, eventually it'd be cool if we could be that good.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know, I've got to set my standards low. I've got to put the bar so low I can trip over it. But that's where I get my drive from.
And I mean, for me, I am a big fan of the McElroys. So I listen to Sawbones, which is a married couple talking about medical stuff. I listen to Taz, which is a D&D podcast. I'm a big fan of all that sort of thing. So that's where I pull a lot of my inspiration for doing this from. It's something we've wanted to do for a while, doing all the streaming and stuff, but obviously we didn't have the setup and the money. Whereas with a podcast, all we need is a headset.
For now.
Oh, but yeah, I think we'll call it here anyway, guys. Thanks for listening. I know it's been a bit higgledy-piggledy, a bit hectic.
We appreciate everyone for listening.
We should have a catchphrase at the end. Some good advice. Stay hydrated. No, I think there's a YouTuber that does that. I think there's like 4 YouTubers that do that.
Yeah, my advice would be don't stand in the fire.
Is that a reference to something I'm not getting?
Yes, so as a healer in WoW, you often get face rollers that use the keyboard to turn left and right, but will stand in fire in a raid. And then you have to waste 90% of your damn mana
healing yourself.
No, healing them.
Oh.
So like the common fact, no, not the healers, being a healer. So you'll have to. So you stand in the fire and you die, and the healer's angry, and you don't know why. It's because you fucking stood in the fire. So that's why I'm saying my advice for the end of this episode is don't stand in the fire.
Okay, we'll see if we can find something every week then we can do. Don't stand in the fire, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, /2 signing off.
Bye.